It was, you know, from a technical perspective, is understanding what makes Claremont's story strategies work, right? And then from a narrative perspective, it was me approaching what it meant to have two characters who didn't understand or value the definition of like accountability and leadership.
Yeah.
And that was super important to me, at least in that, still to this day, but in that point in my life, I wanted to tell that story of like what it meant to run a team who both had who had dissimilar responsibilities from a ground level, right? But a united responsibility, at least seemingly, from under one umbrella, right? And as soon as somebody breaks their understanding and fulfillment of those responsibilities, how it has a knockdown effect on everybody else. That's like I'm talking about it very generally now,
Yeah.
right? But what I really wanted to tackle were the kinds of characters who didn't quite understand their responsibility because they thought it was beneath them, or they thought that quote unquote deserve more, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it
And so I thought
does.
there was great conflict in that, especially with the two main characters from each of those teams that I was representing. So that
Yeah.
was great. It made it so
Would you
much easier once I figured that out.
would you say this was kind of like your version or your love letter to the X-Men, the X-Men books that you loved in
Yeah,
a
well,
sense?
that part's undeniable only because again, I took out as many X-Men comic books, you know, going back, like Chris Claremont stuff, going as far back as
Yeah.
like, you know, like the Phoenix Saga or whatever, and like really understanding why I was so attached to these characters.